We are currently operating a civilization built like a defective house, one that has plugged all of its critical life-sustaining functions into an expired old battery.
An expired battery that currently powers absolutely everything we do.
Exactly, the fatal flaw. That battery is crude oil, and our specific vulnerability is naphtha. The late April 2026 conference in Santa Marta, Colombia, pushed to halt new oil development. At the exact same time, Kawasaki Heavy Industries proved we can synthesize naphtha directly from hydrogen and atmospheric CO2.
Which is a massive leap, sure.
It is the only rational OS update for our survival. The era of ownership and accumulation of finite underground assets is functionally dead.
I have to stop you there, because forcing an update before the fundamental economics of energy actually allow it risks a catastrophic misallocation of resources.
But the misallocation is already happening. Relying exclusively on oil for naphtha, which is the absolute base of every plastic, synthetic textile, and medical tube we use, is an abandonment of risk management.
But the energy density of oil...
We are acting like a severe picky eater, panicking that they will starve without mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Yes. Even with a massive feast of vegetables and meat right in front of them, society is panicking that they cannot eat without mayonnaise. We have abundant solar and wind, but we are terrified of losing the crude oil derivative.
Well, we are terrified because that mayonnaise is structurally holding the global economy together. I mean, look at Kawasaki's hydrogen to naphtha synthesis. It is a neat trick of chemical alchemy.
It is molecular synthesis, not alchemy.
They are running combustion in reverse. You take water, use massive amounts of electricity to split it into hydrogen and oxygen,
creating a closed loop.
Let me finish the physics. You split the water, then force that hydrogen to bond with captured atmospheric carbon. Thermodynamics dictate that you input drastically more energy than you get out.
Which is the cost of generating our own resources.
It is a disposable lighter made of solid gold. If we use highly expensive hydrogen to create cheap naphtha without an unimaginably vast surplus of renewable energy, it is an economic absurdity.
You are evaluating the new hardware using the corrupted logic of the old software. Our global economy is a one-way hit-and-run model.
A hit-and-run model that provides cheap materials.
We are stealing underground assets and throwing trash into the sky. We are a robot that can only function by drinking gasoline, just standing in line at the fuel pump waiting to die.
But that gasoline is currently keeping the robot alive. You cannot...
What Kawasaki proposes is an update like abandoning a heavy external HDD to sync all data wirelessly. We bypass the geographic lottery of oil reserves entirely.
I mean, that wireless cloud analogy is incredibly seductive, but it obscures reality. Syncing data wirelessly still requires massive, energy-hungry server farms.
The infrastructure shifts from extraction to generation.
It is not that simple. Synthesizing naphtha out of thin air requires immense power generation. Yes, Colombia's President Petro committed to halting new oil development, but look at the US, China, Japan.
The legacy manufacturing hubs?
The hubs that actually make things. They're actively resisting this because they rely on petroleum's unmatched energy density. We are currently at a stage where a severe addict has finally signed the contract for a rehab facility.
The deprecation notice has been issued.
On paper, maybe, yet out in the real world, some loyal customers are still frantically digging underground seeking that final glass. We cannot uninstall the old OS overnight.
Developing nations are bound by legacy debt, exporting crude just to pay the late fees of climate damage. Transitioning to local synthetic generation severs that dependency.
How exactly? Kawasaki signed to build a liquefied hydrogen supply chain with Canada. To ship hydrogen, you have to cool it to minus 253 degrees Celsius.
That is a basic engineering parameter.
It is 20 degrees above absolute zero. The boil-off rates are staggering. It leaks through steel. You are demanding that indebted nations leapfrog petroleum and overnight build cryogenic pipelines?
Humanity mastered the containment of volatile energy during the Industrial Revolution. Refusing to upgrade because the tolerances are tighter is intellectual cowardice.
It is not cowardice. It is accounting. Crude oil gives you naphtha basically for free as a distillation byproduct.
Nothing is free. The terminal cost of atmospheric pollution was simply omitted from the balance sheet.
To artificially synthesize naphtha, you have to build massive industrial fans, push millions of cubic meters of air through solvents just to pull sparse CO2 out of the sky. The energy penalty is astronomical.
Commercializing this technology is the vital license authentication required to keep the ecological program running permanently.
If you halt oil development in places like Colombia before green hydrogen is abundant, you brick the entire global computer.
We are finally evolving past the sheer idiocy of chopping up our own house for firewood. The realization is simple. Let's not whittle away our pillars, but instead burn our trash using the sun for warmth.
But that is where your logic completely falls apart. If we commercialize this under our current consumption habits, the update fails instantly.
The market will adjust to the physical reality.
Let's trace the economics. You want to use the most advanced, high-cost, energy-intensive synthesis process humanity has ever developed, chilling volatile hydrogen to near absolute zero, just to create a plastic food container that gets used for 30 seconds and thrown in the trash?
The extreme thermodynamic cost prevents that exact scenario.
It is exactly like processing the highest-grade premium meat into bait to be thrown on the roadside.
The prohibitive cost of the premium meat naturally ensures it is never used for roadside bait.
The inevitable result is the chef breaks down crying and the household goes bankrupt. You cannot fuel a fast-fashion, single-use economy with artisanally synthesized hydrocarbons.
The mass manufacturing of disposable lighters will cease. That is the core feature of the update, not a bug.
Assuming the market will seamlessly abandon cheap goods without catastrophic social collapse is a massive leap of faith.
We will restrict this high-end naphtha to highly durable materials, permanent architectural components, aerospace components. This shift is the minimum intelligence test required to avoid total annihilation.
When the cost of base material spikes, the market does not pass an intelligence test. It panics.
By abandoning the mass waste model, we're at the stage of finding the interchange from an unpaved dirt road to a highway.
I am looking at the millions of jobs in the global south that rely on the velocity of disposable goods. They will default to the dirtiest available energy just to keep supply chains moving.
We are witnessing the moment of being upgraded to the latest solar-powered model.
Transition. It resembles a retro comedy of frantically blowing into a dead game console cartridge to make it work.
Every gram of CO2 synthesized today builds the supply chain for tomorrow. We are writing the new architecture from scratch.
Writing new architecture requires a stable foundation. Energy transitions take generations. If this software update outpaces the hardware, the poorest populations will be priced out of sterile medical plastics and synthetic fibers.
The unpaved dirt road was the era of ignoring atmospheric chemistry. That era is mathematically terminal.
I am not defending the hit-and-run economy, but the update is incredibly fragile. If we waste high-cost hydrogen on our disposable culture, the cure bankrupts the system before it saves it.
The existing system will collapse because you cannot extract infinite value from a finite sphere. Escaping our dependency on the expired old battery of crude oil through circular capitalism is the only mathematically rational path forward.
But the physical bottlenecks.
The hit-and-run economy is irreconcilable with a finite planet. High-cost hydrogen naphtha will not be thrown into the bug of disposable products. We are graduating from the medieval lifestyle of whittling our own house's pillars for firewood, finding the interchange to generate our own energy. The transition to this model is the only rational investment for survival. True freedom and a decent meal called self-sufficiency awaits those who pass this intelligence test.